All right, when we start, I'm going to go ahead and ask Shane, are you there somewhere? If you'll lead us in prayer, and then we'll kind of go just like any other meeting. And I don't know any better way to start.
Okay.
Just remember to hit record.
You got it, sister. It's 7.
All right, Shane, if you will, go ahead and lead us in prayer, please, sir.
All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to come together and meet. We thank you for the technology we have that we can still continue to do the business of our schools and remain safe. We just ask you with those in our community who are learning ways to cope with the situation we have, including our school system and our students and teachers. And we thank you for all the volunteers and essential workers who have been such a vital part. We pray meeting the business to be discussed and all things be done your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, Troy, if you'll call the roll, please.
Dwight Bingham.
Here.
Shane Connor.
Here.
Norris Frank.
Here.
Mark Griffin.
Here.
Ronald Johnson.
Here.
And Bob Moore.
Here. All right, there is a quorum present, so we'll go ahead and proceed with our meeting. The first thing I'm going to do is ask for someone to approve the revised agenda with the update for Heather's budget.
This is Dwight. I make that motion.
Mr. Ronald, I second it. All right, Troy, you want to call roll call on that, please?
Dwight.
Yes.
Shane Connor.
Yes.
Norris Frank.
Yes.
Mark Griffin.
Yes.
Ronald Johnson.
Yes.
Bob Moore.
All right, yes. All right, then we'll go on to our first thing, which is the consent agenda.
This is Dwight. I make a motion. We approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Ronald, I'll second it. All right, we have a motion and a second that we go ahead and approve the consent agenda. Troy, if you'll do the roll call, please.
Dwight Bingham.
Yes.
Shane Connor.
Yes.
Norris Frank.
Yes.
Mark Griffin.
Yes.
Ronald Johnson.
Yes.
Bob Moore.
Yes. Okay, then that is approved. And Troy, we have down delegations. Did that gentleman get back with you?
Yeah, I believe that Nathan is on, if I'm not mistaken. He's called in. Nathan, are you on the call? Nathan?
Last call.
Really?
I believe, well, I saw somebody had called in, so that's why I thought it was him. I didn't bother. There are two call-ins, but I assumed he was on it.
Well,
Again,
If he calls in later, we can get him later.
okay.
all right, then let's move on to number 3 on the agenda, which is a spotlight and celebration. And I believe we're going to have Heather helping us with that.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Heather.
You scared me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say my. Is it tiger? Because it didn't color. Hey, thanks for the approval of the change to our budget. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So you're going to hear from me for just a little bit, but I believe all of my kids are here. So we're going to share with you some good news. This was on the books, I guess, before all of these unusual times came about. So what better time to share some happiness and kindness and good news. So I am going to try something that I haven't tried yet before. I'm going to try. First, let me do a introduction. Riley Halton.
Hey.
Riley Halton, tell them what grade you're in.
I'm in 11th grade. I'm a junior, about senior now.
Got to be a senior. That makes me sad. Okay. Evan Eads.
Hi,
Evan Eads. What grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore, but technically I could be a junior now.
Very good. All these are making me kind of sad. And Jenna Kate Perry.
Hi,
And what grade are you in, Jenna Kate?
I'm in ninth.
Ninth grade. Okay, so these are three of the willing participants that we had that will be sharing with you in these strange times. So I'm going to try to show a couple of pictures while they are talking. Let's see if we can do this. See, I don't have a Stephen Maurice with me, so
Mark can do it.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. And somebody can let me know if you can see this.
Yes, we're all getting that. I was thinking.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Well,
There it is.
Riley Holsom, you just take it away there, brother.
Yes, ma'am. So I hope all of you are doing all right. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about our speaker we got to come talk at the high school, Kate Barnes. Kate Barnes, she's absolutely incredible. I met her through a camp that we went to called TTI, Tennessee Teen Institute. There's one every year, so we've sent a couple people every year up until this year, and when we were there, we absolutely loved her message. It was all about positivity and being kind to one another and showing everyone, you matter, and, just being a friend to everybody. And we got in contact by some info that she gave us at TCI. And she came, she spoke, she was great, and we had some great feedback from the students. So after her presentation, she gave everybody these little cards. Her little thing was Gladiator, and it had her little info on it, and her whole message was, "You're a gladiator, you're strong," that kind of thing. So we had some great feedback from the students. We still see these cards everywhere, in the bathroom. Kids are giving them to each other. It was just great to see all these kids being so positive and supporting each other. And she also gave us some signed copies of her book, Mixtape, and signed. And those are going to be in the library when we get back to our normal routine. So they're in the pictures. She gave a little presentation to just the health council, talking about our ideas and, just saying you guys are doing a good thing, and it's a good thing that you're doing this for your peers. So, it was a great experience to have her come and talk, and it was just great to have her and her message being spread to all of our students and our peers.
Very good, Riley. Thank you.
Good job.
Hey, Miss Amy, Evan, and who wants to know what these are?
Okay, so Heather and I just wanted to give an update on some things we've done since school has shut down, and we are still trying our best to feed the community. And so here's a few pictures. We've had 2 big food distributions. We did one at the end of March and then first the beginning of April. In March, we saw a little over 200 cars come through, and then the one that we did in April, we had over 400. So, we had some great volunteers. The Haltums were there, and Miss Amy Woolley, and so we all worked very hard in that one. And also, every Monday, Heather and I have Eagles Edge open, and we give out bags of canned goods to families that come by. And so far, we've handed out right at 200 bags over the last, since we have been closed and out of school. So just a little update on what we're doing to still try to connect with our families and keep them healthy and happy and in touch with everybody. So, And we've had also a lot of community support too, some donations made to us. We've bought groceries, made deliveries, and that kind of thing. So hopefully on top of what the school services are doing with the lunches and then what we're providing, hopefully we're taking care of our families as best we can. So, right.
Miss
I'm
Amy.
sliding in the frame now.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I am sliding in the frame now. All right. So with this week, this is Donuts for Dads, and this is a fun time to just go out into our local elementary school, Westchester to be specific. We went out to third grade classrooms, and for the kids there, we allowed their dads to come in and eat just donuts with them, just to give them different change of scenery, so they know just when you get school, it's not just for learning, but for fun memories and stuff. We also, for the kids that dads couldn't make it, we allowed law enforcement and local pastors just to come in and eat with them so they don't feel left out. The kid on the picture on the left, he is one of those kids. He's very shy, a little nervous, but whenever we let one of the law enforcement or pastors, whoever was with him, he seemed to brighten up a bit. He had fun. It looked like a really nice enjoyment for everyone. And we hope to make this another tradition, so we just keep doing this forever. We'd love to do it.
Good job, Amy.
Good.
All right, Kate. Last one.
Okay, so this was a Christmas parade. Our theme was throw kindness like snow. And we were trying to encourage more people to be kind and nicer to others, same words. Anyway, I had more fun than I thought I was with me being shy. I started out hiding in the little snow globe, and as we went on, I eventually came out, and it was kind of out of my comfort zone, but it was really fun.
Good job, Kate. That was a lot of fun. The last thing here is just kind of a culmination of not all, but most of the outreach that the Student Health Council has done this year, and they chose which ones they wanted to do. They did a thing for the bus drivers back in the fall. They brought them cold water and cold chocolate treats. And then bottom left, some of them did participated in the cafeteria appreciation, which, man, am I glad we got that one done, because those women are working. So they got a sit-down meal that they did not have to prepare, and they got some goodies. We also partnered with the Garden Shed and donated some mums to different businesses that have helped our school system over the year. And then the last picture down at the bottom is we were showing appreciation to our director of schools, and he said, "Don't give me anything, make a donation to Imagination Library." And so that's what the kids did. Troy might remember exactly how much that was. I don't right offhand, but
I don't recall, but yeah, that Imagination Library is a great resource for early grades, early childhood, to be able to put a book in every student's hand or child's hand. We really enjoyed it when we were doing it, when our kids were that age.
so that is I don't, if my kids are still on here, do y'all have anything else you would like to say?
No, I think you about covered it all, Miss Heather.
Yeah, I think y'all covered it all. You did a good job. Super proud of all of our kids. These three especially, because this is very strange. We had to do our own little practice run, just like y'all did Monday night. So to make sure everything worked okay. But I'm really, really proud of them, Miss Amy and I both. They show up, they get it done, and they spread happiness a lot. So I'm glad they got to share some of that with y'all.
I want to say thank you to all of the students. I think y'all are doing a great job. Heather and Amy, y'all are doing wonderful helping feed people. This is really an unusual time. And I don't know, it's some strange times, but y'all are working through it and doing a great job. And students, y'all keep it up. Y'all are doing great. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
I'd like to also join in. I'm just letting everybody have their turn. I do, again, thank Riley and Evan and Jenna Kate. You know, again, Riley's going to he's a senior now, and Evan's a junior, and Jenna Kate's now a sophomore. So, yeah, just like Bob said, this is some uncharted territory for us. And I know it's been challenging for our kids, especially those who are at graduation and wanting to have some closure to this year. But again, with all of the kids and all of those who are serving, like Heather, Amy, and as you saw in the pictures, those with that second harvest who are working, those are some other staff members, principals, people who are frequently volunteering their time to make sure that where we can help out our families, it's happening. And I know for the ones that I've talked to, the families, very, very appreciative of all the work that's being done. And because we'll follow up with that a little bit more toward the end of our agenda, but hats off to everybody for their volunteer work and for the staff who have rolled up their sleeves and done things in a non-traditional way, but still are exceptional people to work with. And really, it just echoes that Chester County is a great place to work and a great place to live.
Any other comments? Well, guys, we thank y'all very much. You're doing a great job, students. Heather, thank you very much for getting it all together for us. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Y'all guys keep it up, and we'll let y'all bail out at this time, and we'll try to get through the rest of this meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank y'all.
Bye.
All right, we will go on to number 4, which is the TSBA policy revision. Troy, did you want to make any comment on that?
Yes, the policy revisions, again, like what your agenda read, these are from TSBA in response to what we're having to live through right now with this school closure and how we deal with our employees. Of course, again, you know, because you were kept in communication, that we have continued to budget funds to continue to pay all of our full-time and part-time employees. And with that being said, we do have a policy that was policy 1.8011 that deals with emergency closings, but we added, or the TSBA recommended, these additions to that policy. You have a policy, you have copies in your board packet that reflect what we currently have and what the new recommendation is. And then in addition to that, there's also an administrative procedure, since it's new, and it focuses on what's considered essential employees. But these will be added to our employee handbook for the procedures. But we recommend the policy acceptance from the TSBA for 1.8011, and also the new one, which is now a common term, telework, where we're working from home. And again, we've been able to accomplish that. I can tell you with experience that all of our schools, faculty, staff are participating in different formats similar to what we're doing here for Zoom meetings or Google Meeting Hangouts. They're talking about plans for next year. They're also having well checks where they're checking up on their kids. They're having group chats with their students just to check up with them, find out if there's any specific needs, and just touch base with them. You know, again, all of us miss the student. We miss seeing our staff, and we are doing a whole lot of work now. It's a new world that we're living in, and unfortunately, it may be more of a ongoing practice than just the exception is what we're going through right now. But those policies, we recommend that the TSBA recommendations are approved.
This is Dwight. I make a motion we approve those policies.
This is Norris. I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second that we approve the policies recommended by TSBA. Troy, if you would, well, first off, any other discussion? All right, if not, Troy, will you do the roll call vote, please?
And just to be clear, are we doing a roll call vote for all of these policies from the TSBA? at once?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
do them all once, okay.
Yes, sir. Dwight Bingham,
Yes.
Shane Connor,
Yes.
Norris Frank,
Yes.
Mark Griffin,
Yes.
Ronald Johnson,
Yes.
Bob Moore.
Yes. All right, then that will be approved. And we will go on, the next thing is going to be the resolution. And my understanding on this is just temporary so that we don't have to change all of our policies, but we'll go with this resolution until things are kind of back to normal, and then we don't have to delete policies and reinstate them. Is that correct, Troy?
Yes, sir. The State Board of Education made these revisions last week with impact just the 1920 year, rather than us having to go in and adjust all of our policies that are in conflict now with how the state board rules read for this current year. They recommended that this resolution be passed. I've got the original copy with me. All of the board members have an extra copy of that resolution, but it's where if it's approved, Bob will sign it and I will sign it, but there needs to be board action also reflected in the minutes.
This is Shane. I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution that TSBA crafted.
This is Norris. I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second that we approve the resolution. Any other discussion? If not, Troy, will you call roll, please?
Dwight Bingham,
Yes.
Shane Connor,
Yes.
Norris Frank,
Yes.
Mark Griffin,
Yes.
Ronald Johnson,
Yes.
Bob Moore.
Yes. Okay, then that resolution will be enacted. Troy, me and you will sign that after our meeting.
Yes, sir.
Send that in. All right, the next thing on our agenda is going to be a recommendation for a board policy revision. And Troy, I believe you said that was something from Thomas. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Thomas has gone through, Thomas and Stacy, especially Stacy Keene. Thomas Leach and Stacy Keene have attended several webinars that have been sponsored by the My Benefits channel. There are 5 points that we work with that provides the support there. And because of the training that they've received, we reflected upon Section 5 of our policy manual, which deals with personnel, and his recommendation regarding how the language is now that you're hearing communicated among offices, especially with employees, about being tested for any virus possibility, and how to deal with those who are quarantining themselves. This section 5.400, personal health examinations and communicable diseases, we already had that policy there and it's reflected in your packet. The second page is just what Thomas Leach recommended as additions to and revisions to what we already have. He's on the call if anybody has a question for him.
Troy, basically what this does, it expands the superintendent's responsibilities and gives him more jurisdiction to make decisions. And also in the policy, it always says if teachers are in danger to students, but there might be other times that they could be in danger to other staff members. So we've kind of added that language for more protection, for our district employees.
And I would say on behalf of Thomas, we did vet this with Chris Hayden, our board attorney, and he approved the recommendations.
This is Norris Frank. I make a motion that we approve this policy revision.
Listen, Ronald, I'll second it. All right, we have a motion, a second, that we approve this revision. Any other discussion? All right, Troy, do you want to take the roll call, please?
Dwight Bingham,
Yes.
Shane Connor,
Yes.
Norris Frank,
Yes.
Mark Griffin,
Yes.
Ronald Johnson,
Yes.
Bob Moore.
Yes. All right, then we will change that policy. We'll go in as with the updates. Then we will go on to, let's see. Right.
Number 7.
Was that 5 or 6, Troy? I'm sorry, I'm looking.
That was 6, but we're going to number 7
Okay,
next.
that's going to be the stipend for our school cafeteria, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now me and Troy had talked about this, and I just want to say that, you know, we've had a lot of people really working hard and going the extra mile. And Troy, I'll let you kind of speak to this, but I do think it's something that we, you know, our employees deserve.
Well, ever since we began this process, again, of feeding our families, many of you, I know, and I just see Mark pop up. Mark comes by every Tuesday and Friday to pick up a load of food products for kids at a daycare center. And Britt Eads, I want to say hats off to Britt. He carries food to families who are shut in during the Tuesday, Fridays, and some of those distributions are quite heavy when one location alone has 11 kids that are serviced in one location. I want to say also, I think Stephanie Lawler is on for the call. I believe she is. But people like the principals that you saw in a previous picture of Heather, Amy Woolley, Angela Haltom. I shouldn't have started naming people. Kim Scott, staff at Eastchester, staff at the junior high, staff at the middle school, staff at Westchester. I want to say also for Susan Brown and her husband, Bruce, have had frequent times. Patsy Doyle, Mike Doyle, staff at the high school, Ginger McPherson, David Willis from Eastchester. I mean, there is just, I could just continue to name off all these people who have volunteered their time. And again, this is above and beyond. These are the volunteers. But our cafeteria staff are getting there early in the mornings. In some cases, having to get the day before when the meals or food products are being distributed to the schools so they can be prepared. But I asked Stephanie earlier today, on the average, how many children are being provided meals. He said on the average, 750 at each distribution. Now, to give you guys a perspective of how many meals those are, you're getting on Tuesdays 3 days worth of meals, and on Friday 4 days worth of meals. So you're talking about on the average anywhere between 2,700 to over 3,000 meals every week.
What are they fixed, Troy? For what?
Stephanie, are you on? I know Stacy's on. Well, I can tell from experience they have a breakfast meal. And again, they have a lunch meal. They have the drinks, which would be milk or juice or a combination of both. They have a hot meal also that's prepared. I think this last Tuesday was like chicken tenders, green beans, mashed potatoes, rolls. I mean, it's a regular meal that you would have. And this is happening every Tuesday, every Friday since we began, and will continue through May the 15th since schools have been closed. But on the high side, they have served as many as 860 children in one setting. So again, I cannot speak enough to sing the praises of Stephanie Lawler and her leadership and the cafeteria managers and the cafeteria staff who from the very inception of this plan have committed themselves to make sure that our kids in the community are well fed.
This is Shane.
Dwight, I make a motion, we approve the stipend and the funding of it.
This is Shane. I second.
Okay.
Mr. Sheriff, is there any way that we can make that retroactive, go back to maybe March the 15th when the program actually started?
I think that's
It is, eh?
The funding, I mean, what we put into the agenda was for all days that they served. So it would be retroactive to the first day that we served meals on the Tuesday or the Friday.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any other discussions, any other questions? All right, Troy, you want to do the roll call?
Dwight Bingham,
Yes.
Shane Connor,
Yes.
Mark Frank,
Yes.
Mark Griffin,
Yes.
Ronald Johnson,
Yes.
Bob Moore.
Yes. All right, then that will be approved. And I think that's great, guys, because they've really been putting in a lot of hard work, and I think he should be rewarded. We'll go on to our next thing, which is recommending approval of a new custodian position. I think this is going to be because of some new buildings, new facilities. Troy, I'll let you address that and why the recommendation.
Well, again, and Brett is on the line, I believe. So I think Dwight had a question for him. So be ready to unmute yourself, Brett, if you're on. But again, based on policy 5.116, any new position, you gentlemen will have to approve that position. In your board packet was a job description for that. And again, because of our new baseball and softball facilities, and also we have put in just a little bit of extra time and effort to improve the looks of the interior of Northchester. That's been painted interior where the kids are being, our kids and the staff are using those facilities. So we want to keep those areas along with the auditorium, since we have had a new commitment to the event, social events in the auditorium. And as you've seen here, also the board office, our board office in the past has just been paid for a custodian to come over in the weekend for extra time to clean, but it's only been once a week. And like this new position would include the board office, which would be a daily cleaning. So that would help us because there's been several times that we have through the work week cleaned when we needed to. So it would be helpful to keep it looking more, keeping all the facilities looking better than, and keep them looking fresh and new and clean.
I make a motion, we approve the new position and the funding of it.
This Ronald, I second it.
All right, we have a motion, a second, that we do approve the new custodian position. Any other discussion, any other questions for Brett?
Why don't we include Eagle's Edge in that?
That has been a part of the high school when Coach Catlett or Dr. Catlett, I don't know if he's on this or not, he might attest to it. One of the custodians that we added over there for the new East Wing, when it came online, part of that custodian was 2 hours was coming over to Northchester, and we found two problems with that. One, Dr. Catlett had asked me this year, he's saying that the 2 hours he lost, we were finding that it was really affecting the cleanliness of their building. Ms. Halton might can attest to that. And then Northchester only getting 2 hours in the morning. Well, they had students that were, whether they eat in the building over there or they still use the restrooms, and sometimes the messes over there in the restrooms would fall back upon the teachers over there because the custodian wasn't going to return to the next morning. Now, Eagle's Edge, I probably could roll that into it. It's I don't know if that would be something that we've been covering it with another custodian over at the high school, but I don't know if the timing of it would fall better on this one, but we could.
Have you decided which schedule you want to try to go with, or is that still?
I did a tentative. Yeah, I did. Did y'all have that tentative schedule I did?
Yes.
I'd say the late
Possibility,
schedule.
So I could always roll. I did a tentative schedule for Troy. How many hours? Say it again, Dwight.
Looks like the late schedule would probably work better, wouldn't it? Start at 9.
I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, but that way it would probably would.
And that way the board office would be vacant.
Yeah, that's, I think, one of the reasons. And I drew it up 2 different ways, and either one would work. No problem.
Brent, how often does the Eagles Edge get attended to right now? Is it a daily thing or is it a weekly?
No, it's not daily. They at least once a week is about all I think. Is Heather still on?
I am.
Coach E, when Mr. Phelps was in, he was supposed to go over a couple days a week, but I think it got to where it's about 1 day a week, maybe. So I don't think it was something that was done as much as it needed to be done, in my opinion.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'll say, Amy and I and the students that are over there, we get it taken care of. The inside anyway. Anytime we have needs, Dr. Catlett is very quick to take care of them, to send somebody over there if there's something that we have coming up. He takes care of us. So, as far as a schedule, it's hard to get a schedule for us because there's some days, and Coach Eads knows too, that Amy and I are both out of the office. We may have, an alumni meeting once a month, and then again, we may have somebody using our building for a training. And so it varies. It's not like a school building because our schedule is different every day. But I will say, between Coach Eads and Dr. Catlett, we don't have any major needs or complaints that to worry about to kind of help answer Dwight's question about is it needed. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Any other comments, discussion?
Will that have any effect on the events at auditorium, the custodial fee there, if it's being cleaned daily? Like, for people like the plays don't always, for example, hire a custodian, so the bathrooms aren't always stocked. If there's, if they don't hire one, there's no one to stock, so that's being done daily anyway. Will that affect events as far as having a custodian at the
I think
auditorium?
they ought to still pay a custodial fee.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. It won't affect the events, unless the big ones, but it would help with the school events. I have found that the way they used to rent it is they just shut the door and left messes, which they are cleaning up after themselves, but having a daily, this would replace that 5 hours that we were doing. We would no longer need the 5 hours because this daily cleaning. I saw that in the theater class has been using it pretty much every day for 2 or 3 hours, and in the bathrooms, especially behind the stage on the school side, it started getting a little unkempt with only 5 hours. So this,
they were bad the day I looked at them.
This would help with classes because I didn't know that the classes were going to be over there too, and I mean they're basically having class in the auditorium. So this will assist in keeping those areas picked up. So, geez, that's going to change for next year. Our plan for the students to use it'll be an after school activity instead of a during school day. But there'll still be some. There'll still be clean use. There'll still be some use, I'm sure, to go and do some things, but it won't be quite as much as it was last year.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any questions? All right, Troy, do you want to do the roll call, please, sir?
Yes, sir. This is Dwight Bingham.
Here. Yes.
Very good.
I'm going to.
Shane Connor.
Yes.
Horace Frank.
I almost fell on my chair.
Yes.
Mark Griffin.
Yes.
Ronald Johnson.
Yes.
Bob Moore.
Yes. All right, then that will be approved for a new position for another custodian. That is all that's on our agenda. Did the Nathan Ward ever join us, Troy? Could you tell, or?
I'm not sure.
Yes, Nathan's here.
Okay.
Okay, we're understand you wanted a proposal for a graduation.
Yeah, has it? I mean, I wasn't there for when it was talked about. Has anything been discussed about it at all yet, or?
No.
Okay. Well, and then just today, the Tennessee Department of Education actually released. I don't know if Troy or anybody's seen it. The actual proposal that I was proposing. They actually proposed that for stadium events for graduations. It was released today. I don't know if y'all seen that, but
yes, we have.
And it's basically a drive. I mean, I'm here to, however y'all decide to do it, I'd be more than happy to help you out in whichever way that y'all decide to do it. But the original idea was to do a drive-in graduation, kind of like you've seen people doing these drive-in churches. And they have mobile hydraulic stages and sound and FM transmitters. And, you know, the kids would be 6 feet apart, sitting in chairs in front of the stage, the salutatorian, valedictorian, all. Everything would be normal to the students if you do a drive-in graduation, with the exception of there would be limited guests. In other words, you'd only be two cars per. Well, depending on where you did it, y'all could work that out, but at least that many. But it wouldn't just be open so that anybody, you know, you couldn't have 1,000 cars there. So, but basically, that was my proposal, to do something like that. Then the kids could graduate. Still walk across the stage. It would be all normal for them, other than they're sitting 6 feet apart, with the exception of, you know, they couldn't have 50 family members there. And I can provide all those services.
Well, I'll just ask guys what y'all thinking, but my feeling is I'm not in favor of trying to go ahead on the 18th and do a graduation.
No, I think we need to wait and talk about it.
I do too. I'm thinking, and I've talked to Troy about it, I really feel like maybe June, end of June or something, maybe July. To see if this thing gets over with, and then we could possibly, what I've talked to Troy is, depending on where we can use, maybe using the football stadium.
But I think we need to wait and make the decision a little later.
Well, gentlemen, we have another. I'm sorry, no, Nathan, go ahead.
No, I was that's totally up to y'all. I mean, when you do it, I mean, if it's where you need my assistance, you do. If you don't, you don't. But if it is, I'll be more than happy to work those details out. But as far as when you do it and where, of course, that's obviously y'all's decision.
And Nathan, we appreciate the offer. I know that Nathan and I have talked on multiple occasions about this, and again, my concern is what Nathan referred to. I've included it to. There is the language just came out this afternoon. It's their guidance from the State Department. Early in it, it does say, though, that these are just recommendations, that it will still be left up to the decisions with the school district, specifically board members and the superintendent, to make the decision. But I know in my conversations with other directors in West Tennessee, everybody that I've talked to, even though they're still on the calendar showing their current dates, their expectations, this won't be realized until later in the summer also.
Well, I think, as Dwight said, we can discuss it later, and see how this is progressing. And Nathan, if we, need assistance, if we do need a stage or something, we maybe can work out something at that time. But I think it's going to be something that's a couple of months down the road, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir. That's absolutely.
This is Norm. Thank you, Nathan, and I agree with Bob and Dwight both. But thank you, Nathan, for offering, and we could use your services probably when we do have graduation.
Okay, I'll just whatever y'all decide, whatever y'all figure it out, y'all let me know, and I'll be more than happy to work with you.
All right, we'll have Troy contact you. As we get closer, if we do need some assistance, we'll have Mr. Kilser get in touch with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that pretty well is all of our agenda. We did have some updates. Troy, the main thing I guess I want to say is we are getting all the ozone treatments and they're seemingly getting everything sanitized.
Again, and I would start off by saying that is Britt still on the line?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Britt's been more active with it than I have. I was there the first day at Jacks Creek and had my only conversation with those with the staff member with E&T Contracting. In the conversation there, and again, they fumigate the entire school facility. They started with the outside buildings at Jacks Creek, then worked on the main campus area. They have to set it up to where it fogs. It just fills up like, as he described to me, it just kind of like an air in a balloon. You fill up all areas within the school. It is during the actual fogging or misting, or it's not mist, it's a dry, and it's not like, well, anyway, it's a dry, it's not a wet distribution of disinfectant, it's dry. So it's safe for all electrical equipment, furniture, but after a period of time, it takes some time for them to allow it to kind of aerate back out to where you can walk back in. I thought it was going to be multiple days. It ends up being just hours. But they've done, Britt can add to it, but they've done Jacks Creek. They've done Westchester. They've done the high school. And today in the junior high, and today they were at the middle school.
Also got Northchester done as well this afternoon.
Very good. But it's more effective than chlorine bleach as a disinfectant. I would say this for our custodial staff, and I asked Britt this right before we took our spring break, because the custodial staff continued to work even though we had dismissed school on this Tuesday, the 17th of March. They continued to work, and based on his experience, the custodial staff at every school did a very good job disinfecting the schools, taking a little bit extra time, making sure that the campuses were as clean as possible. The equipment, the chemicals that we use for our cleaning products are hospital grade disinfectant. So it's what our hospitals in the area uses also. This is just, again, and going above and beyond the call of what would be required. I don't know of any other school district who has done what we've done, but I hope that it reassures our community that we are very conscientious of ensuring that our buildings are safe, not only our students, but our staff to return to.
Have you decided when you're going to let the students and teachers come back in and get their personal belongings?
Well, there has been some decisions being made at the school levels. I know that Dr. Catlett's staff, they are planning to do a distribution of returning personal belongings and giving out report cards the first full week in May. The junior high was discussing it today. Also, Eastchester is probably targeting somewhere in that neighborhood of dates. Again, we probably need to be conscientious and not have everybody coming out the same day across the district, and just stagger those distributions to where they can go back and pick up and settle their, some have reimbursements to come their way, some have debts to cover, some have library books to return. I mean, when we were dismissing on the 17th, we were not necessarily thinking that we were going to be ending for the whole school year. So we're having to go to treat it like at the end of the school year closure mode. We'll be working with school cleaning for the summertime in the near future. But before all that happens, we need to make sure that all of our students and staff have got their personal belongings so they can, anyway, we can schedule those later. So
Okay, does anybody have anything else? Anything you'd like to discuss, bring up? I do want to mention that our next board meeting will also be scheduled virtually like tonight, and that will be on May the 14th at 7 p.m.
This is Dwight. I make a motion, we adjourn.
This is Doris. I second it.
All right, I say let's not have a roll call. Just all in favor say aye.
Ah.
All right, you guys can hang up. Thanks, everybody. We got through it. Bye, Heather.